Shalom Alecha. Here we are in the coastal plain, in the northern coastal plain. We're at a place called Tel Aphek. And in your Bible, there's a number of places you can actually read about this place. We'll talk about that here in just a second, because we want to do this lesson here at this site in really two parts. So the first part, I just want to give you a perspective of what you're looking at. And again, if you're at the website, and you can go to the website of Light of Menorah, you can actually take a look at a map in terms of where this location is. But one of the key things about this ancient city of Aphek is it's right on the Via Maris, right on the international coastal trade route that connects Egypt all the way up into the north. So this is a central key place. And matter of fact, there's a sign back here that talks about that Aphek always was a guardian of the Via Maris. Another thing that you can actually take a look around here is, here to my right are the ruins of the ancient city of Aphek, going back to 1500, 1400, 1200 BC. The Egyptians controlled at that time, and there's evidence here of a major fire in about 1200 BC, and it's the possibility that the Philistines attacked and actually defeated the Egyptians here at that time. And you can see how low I am. This gives the idea of one civilization built up upon another. Now over here on the right side is, and it's not too clear in terms of this tell, but there are a couple of palaces here dated back to the Canaanite period. So this is pre-Egyptian, this is pre-Philistine, Philistine, and we're probably going back to 1500, 1600, 1800, 2000 BC, which means that if Abraham was here, he would probably be seeing those palaces that would have been back here at that time. Now the other thing is, I'm going to ask our camera girl to actually pan around so that you can see the walls of a fortress that is all around us. And these walls are dated to about 1600 AD, when the Turks were here, the Ottoman Empire, and they built a fortress here on Aphek because, again, why does anybody want to guard this place? They want to guard this place because the main road, the main trade route that goes from Egypt to the north goes right through this place. So we have a history from 1600 AD down to 1200 BC, all the way down, even down to 2000 BC, that actually shows the importance of this location. So you can see some of those walls there. And the other thing about things about the Bible story that I want to bring up, and you could look these things up, there are a number of events that happened here at Aphek. One of them is that when we actually take a look at the Bible, there was a major confrontation here between the Philistines and the Hebrews who lived up in the hills. And you may recall that Samuel was a prophet at that time, and the high priest was Eli. And the Philistines came here, they had a confrontation, and in the second part of the battle, the Hebrews actually brought the Ark of the Covenant down here, and you almost get the impression that the Hebrews thought it was kind of like a magic bullet, and God was pretty displeased with it, that they thought this was going to be their magic weapon, and it didn't turn out because they lost, and the Philistines actually defeated them, captured the Ark, and took it with them to the 5 Philistine cities. So that happens in this area. You can actually read in the Bible that the Philistines came and gathered their armies here at Aphek, and the battle was between here and a place called the Rock of Strength, Ebenezer, not Ebenezer. That's kind of an English way of saying it, but it's actually Ebenezer, the Rock of Strength. And they believe, archaeologists believe, that it's probably a mile, maybe 2 miles east of here. Another biblical event that you might recall is, if you recall, David was fleeing from Saul, and at the end of that long issue between him and Saul, David becomes what you would call the sheriff of King Achish, one of the Philistine kings. And the Philistines are about ready to go to the Jezreel Valley north of us to have a major confrontation with Saul, who is king. And it so happens that David comes here with the 5 Philistine kings, and they had a big meeting here. And the 4 Philistine kings came to King Achish. And King Achish is the king of Gath. And Gath is the place where Goliath's from. And they asked King Achish, who is David? And they basically say, King Achish basically says that David was indeed, he had his 600 men and so on. So the 4 Philistine kings basically asked King Achish, who is this guy? And he said, this is David. And they said, yeah, we've heard about him. He has killed his 10,000s and Saul his thousands. We don't want this guy tagging along behind our army. So indeed, they sent them back. So that event happened here at Aphek. Another one, though, is later on. Herod, and this is the Herod of the baby of the Christmas story. Herod himself comes here, and he remodels this city, and he renames it. Matter of fact, this park is called the Tel Aphek, and Herod's dad was named Antipater. He rebuilt this city and rebuilt it right here on the Via Maris to praise his dad, and he named it for his dad. So we have 3 significant events that happened here, and after that city's built, Paul, on his way to prison, actually on his way to trial, actually stopped here in Antipatris. You can read that in the book of Acts, on his way to being on trial in Caesarea, up just further north here. So that gives you a perspective of what this place is like. And what's very interesting is the biblical events that happened right at this place, right on the Via Maris. And the key thing is the Via Maris, how important this place actually is. What I want to do now is take you to another place here in the ruins, another place here in the Tel, to continue and finish our series here at Aphek. Come.